All right, Larry Krueger here down at Levi's Stadium before training camp practice number 15. Let's talk, though, a little bit about Isaiah Oliver, and we're brought to you by Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check out Pig in a Pickle, 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. All right, let's talk a little bit about Isaiah Oliver. Maybe the story of yesterday was Steve Wilkes talking to us after practice, telling us that, you know, the nickel cornerback position, the slot corner, is just wide freaking open. You know, they signed Isaiah Oliver, they gave him $4 million, and, you know, it looked like he was going to be their starting nickel corner. He was going to be the slot corner. He's coming off a great year where he played the slot for the Falcons. But in practice yesterday, you were seeing some Diamador Lenore, you were seeing some Deshaun Jameson, you were seeing some Quantrez Knight, some A.J. Parker, all in the slot. And I think really what it comes down to is Oliver had a really bad game against the Raiders. He's a big-bodied guy who's supposedly going to help them in a number of ways. He's got corner experience, but he also is a big body, and they'd like to have a big body there, but it's all about coverage. You got to be able to play pass coverage in the NFL. And what we're seeing now is that I think we're seeing Steve Wilkes and the Niner defensive coaches say, you know what, let's get our best 3 corners on the field, because the slot receiver in the NFL is now DK Metcalf, it's DeAndre Hopkins, it's Cooper Kupp. I mean, there's some big-time guys in the slot, and you've got to have a top-tier cover guy in that spot. So who are the Niners' 3 best corners, I think, is the question that we should be asking. And I think it's either Mooney Ward, Diamador Lenore, and Samuel Womack, or Mooney Ward, Diamador Lenore, and Ambry Thomas. Thomas is playing at a real high level right now, and so's Womack. So if you could play Womack and Thomas outside and play opposite Mooney, that affords you the luxury to play Diamador Lenore inside. And now you're getting your best cover corners all on the field at one time. I think that really is the game plan. Now, there's other guys who can play that slot, which is really a tough position to play. But the Niners do have guys who can play it and play it well. Jameson is a naturally instinctive corner who really looks good playing the slot. Quantrez Knight is a bigger-bodied guy from UCLA who can play safety, but he can play the slot. And Wilkes named him as another guy that could be in the mix for the slot corner role. And then there's A.J. Parker. And A.J. Parker is playing at a really high level. So I think what you're seeing here is that, and then don't forget, the 49ers also have Darrell Luter Jr. on the PUP list. Luter's a big body, long-armed, outside corner who can play press man. So, you know what? They may want to go, and we don't know when Luter's going to be off the PUP, but it'll probably be in the first few games of the year, if not by week 1. So you got Luter coming back, you got Mooney Ward, and now you've got, you know, Ambry Thomas looking very much like the end of the year, rookie year Ambry Thomas, and not like the second year Ambry Thomas, which is a good thing. And then you got Samuel Womack, who's getting nothing but better. He looks comfortable outside. You know what? I don't think Isaiah Oliver is one of the 49ers' best 3 corners. And I don't think, you know, they're not going to make it official until somebody really seizes the job. They don't need to make it official right now. They've got, 2 more preseason games. The cutdown's coming on August the 29th. But I don't know if Isaiah Oliver's roster spot is guaranteed. They gave him $4 million, but they could walk away from that. More importantly, they're going to put their best corners on the field. So if that's Mooney Ward, Ambry Thomas, and Samuel Womack, then so be it. If it's Mooney Ward, Ambry Thomas, and Demo Lenore, I think Lenore's either going to start outside or he's going to start inside. And you know what? Lenore doesn't have quite the size that Isaiah Oliver has, but he's a better cover man, and he can play, he can mirror and have tighter coverage on the receiver. And then you've got Jameson, who's a natural player inside as well, and he breaks on the ball consistently. And then you get Quantrez Knight, and I actually think of all these guys, long term, it might be best to have Mooney Ward, Diamador Lenore, and then Quantrez Knight starting at the slot, and just use Womack and Ambry Thomas as the backups outside, because and Jamison you could use in any role, because I really see special in Quantrez Knight in the slot. He's big, he's physical, he's smart, he's got experience, he's played all over the secondary, he's got a ton of experience playing in different spots, and I just think that there's a chance that Quantrez might be the exact kind of player that the Niners are looking for in that slot corner role. Big body, physical against the run, will come up and hit you, but he also has man-to-man cover skills, and he understands how to play in a zone. He's got great awareness in the zone. So, the one thing about Steve Wilks, he's like, I got a Rolodex of guys, and they've got options here. Oliver, got burned by Keelan Cole for a touchdown in that Raider preseason game. He trailed that play from behind the entire time. It just didn't look good. His play speed out on the practice field, to me, just looks average. And if you ask me the basic question of, is he one of the 49ers' 3 best corners, I would say without a doubt he's not. So, to me, that's the game plan. Get your 3 best corners on the field at one time. Mooney Ward is definitely one of those guys. Diamador Lenore is definitely one of those guys. And then who's your 3rd best corner? Is it Samuel Womack? If it is, play him. If it's Ambry Thomas, if it's him, play him. If it's Oliver, play him. If it's Jamison, play him. I'm thinking it may be actually Quantrez Knight. Quantrez Knight is the guy to look for. And Luter, of course, is coming, so there's a chance that Luter could be a starter opposite Mooney Ward at some point as well, and that would force Lenore inside as well. So the one thing that it's good to have is depth of corners, because when you run out of cornerbacks in the NFL, you're really just cooked. It's hard to win in the NFL when you don't have good cornerback play. You'd rather have 7 or 8 good ones and not need them than have 3 and need 2 more and have to come up with it. Because what happens is quarterback comes out of the huddle and says, okay, where are their 4th and 5th corners? Those guys are borderline NFL. We're going right at them all day. We saw that in the Miami game a couple years ago here at Levi's when Ryan Fitzpatrick broke the huddle and was like, where's Brian Allen? Well, Brian Allen was a guy the Niners had signed on a Wednesday and were trying to start him on a Sunday. But, sure enough, Fitzpatrick would look for him. Where's Brian Allen? He literally came out of the huddle pointing, where's Brian? He's over there this time. Right at him. Oh, he's over there this time. Right at him. If you have a weakness, you're going to have it exploited in the NFL. So the message, I think, is pretty clear, and that's that Isaiah Oliver's roster spot is not a lock. The Niners are not necessarily particularly happy with how he's looked, and look for, Lenore in the slot and possibly a new starter opposite Mooney Ward. All right, we're brought to you by Pig in a Pickle. 2 locations, Emeryville and Corte Madera. Check them out in either spot. They're open from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig in a Pickle, the best barbecue in Northern California. And thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.